All right, thank you all for coming out and having me here today. I'll be taking any questions you guys might have. You, sir, right there in the plaid shirt.
Yeah, do you even work here?
Unfortunately, no, but this is the 53rd annual KBA convention here in Manhattan, Kansas. I'm going to show you guys what it's like to be at the convention and what it's like to be a KBA member.
I've never seen him before. Does he even work here?
All right, so I'm here with Jamie Howater, and he's the president of the KBA, and he was kind enough to sit down with us with me for a few minutes and go over some of the questions I had about the KBA. So how are you doing this afternoon?
It's a busy time, but convention is busy every year, and we love seeing everybody here and getting a chance to catch up and tell each other lies and hear hunting stories. It's just a really good time.
Did you see Fred when he spoke in the conference room there?
I did, and he's just a phenomenal storyteller. I don't know if you got a chance to see him, but he's so animated. He's a lot like me, kind of talks with his hands a little bit, but he really gets into his storytelling, and he's just obviously a true jokester.
Yeah,
so everybody just really appreciates having him here, and he was here, I think, 15, 20 years ago. So having him back here, I guess, as a repeat speaker has been pretty exciting for folks. There's been a lot of chatter about it.
Yeah, that's super awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so the first question is, when and why was the KBA founded?
So there was a core group of folks, and I have to go off of things that I've heard from my dad and some of the founding fathers that helped, stand the KB up and get it started. But I think the biggest component of it is 1973 is when they just had a bunch of guys get together and say, hey, we really like bow hunting. We should start a club. What do you think? And so they said, hey, that sounds great. We'll kind of be, like I said, the founding fathers and get it stood up. And they basically did that with, 8 or 10 or 15, however many of them there originally were. And then that kind of snowballed in the following years to more and more, and they had to create an executive council and all those things. But primarily it was for the love of bow hunting.
That's awesome. I like that. And I wasn't even thought of back in the 70s. So
Yeah.
What are some of the things that the KBA has done for Kansas bow hunters?
So I think a lot of it has to do with, they used to kind of call it the green wave, but the colors are green and yellow of the original core colors for the KBA. And if there was an issue like the rifle season wanted to kind of sneak into the rut, the way they have in the state of Missouri as an example, well, the green wave, the KBA folks would call each other on the old rotary dial phones and say, hey, we need to get with the commissioners and tell them that we don't agree with this and we need to get it shut down. Or things like if it was, crossbows or other things that people would want to have conversations about and say, do we want to be a part of that? Do we not? So I think a lot of it is probably driven off of making sure that we have as close to static as possible, a season that is going to stand the test of time, for lack of better terms.
Right.
And I think they've done really well with that over the years.
And I'm so thankful for that. I didn't know that about the KBA because I know there's states that they do allow rifle hunting during the rut, and the bow hunters are having some issues with that. So I'm glad in Kansas, at least we don't have to deal with that.
Well, and for us, as you know, as an archer, it's super exciting to hunt during the rut and not have to wear orange, and all that. It's just it's a very exciting time, and to not have that interrupted and just have your you time in the woods is great.
Right.
Yeah.
As far as like how long the bow hunting season is in Kansas, did I hear right that the KBA might have influenced the length of the season?
Yeah, and I think a lot of that too is the forefathers getting together and saying, hey, we need to make sure that we have September, October, November, December as much as we possibly can to try and hold that down and make sure that with bow hunting, everybody knows like your average bow kill shot is 17 yards. It takes a lot more doing and hunting and planning to get out into the woods, and I think that's why our forefathers wanted to try and preserve that as much as possible.
Right, and I love that. I'm so thankful that I could hunt, into September, October, November, December, and just through some of the holidays. And some people travel for work; they're not around certain weeks because I know some states have a very limited season. So I think we're pretty fortunate to be able to have that extended time here in Kansas. So what benefits are there for being a KBA member?
So I would say that some of the things we've already covered. I mean, just being able to protect the season that we have. If we have legislation that pops up, like in our members-only meeting that we had today I don't know if you were able to step in there or not.
I didn't.
But a lot of we have Sean Harding is our legislative chair, and he keeps his ear to the ground on a lot of the issues that are popping up. Like one of them came up about drone bill, and the drone bill basically was something that was brought up as we could use drones to go and track deer. Well, there were people that were saying, there's no way to say you got to put a 48-hour time limit on it or whatever that might be. There might still be people that are they're saying they're going to go look for their deer to track it, but yet they might use it to say, I didn't find my deer, but I saw a bigger deer, so now I'm going to go.
Right.
I'm going to go get that deer, whether it's with a bow or a rifle or whatever. And it was kind of taking a turn for the worst.
Yeah.
As one example, that I think it failed in committee. It's not going anywhere yet, but that's okay. But I think it's things like that where if we know in advance with our legislative chair, Sean Harding, to be able to give us the ability to know when things are popping up that may possibly intervene. Like another one is transferable tags. We've got some folks in the legislation that really think that transferable tags are a great thing. Well, if they're also part of, LLC leasing communities, and they're trying to bring in out-of-state hunters, they're doing it to, possibly pad their own pockets, that sort of thing.
100%.
And so I think just being mindful of that and trying to make sure that we're keeping it at arm's length and not letting it go any further than it already has.
Yeah, that's important stuff right there. So what is your personal favorite thing about the KBA?
Well, I don't know if a lot of people know this about me, but I grew up in the KBA. My dad was a president for 4 years in the 80s, and he just got his 50-year commemorative plaque last year for being in the KBA for that long. And so it's one of those things, it's kind of a family tradition for a lack of better terms. But I think the interesting thing is, and it's just kind of exciting for me, is I'm now bringing my son here and trying to get the idea of, passing this along. And we're going to events, we're going to, the bunny hunt and the archery golf and things that are outside of the convention, just to kind of help him, my son, understand, and other youth members understand that we're more than just coming to a convention and having a big auction and trying to raise money for the year like we do every time we're here.
Right.
There's so much more to that. But since I grew up in the club, it just means more to me. There's a lot of emotional ties there.
Right. Is there like a term limit on being the president?
Yes. So you can run. The terms are every 2 years. I just got voted in for my second term. And then after that 2-year term, I'm done. So the total is 4 years.
Nice. Congrats on that. It'd be cool, like you said, bringing your son in if someday he can, and then you got 3 generations of presidents. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
So what other annual events does the KBA host outside of the convention? I know you mentioned like the bunny hunt and stuff like that.
Yep. So we've got bunny hunt, we've got archery golf, we've got a prairie dog hunt, we've got a carp shoot, we have summer rendezvous. So we've got several things that we're doing up to the end of the summer. And then obviously everybody in the fall, we know where they want to be. They want to be in a tree hunting whitetails.
Oh yeah.
So we try and do what we can in the beginning part of the year. I didn't want to also forget to leave out Conservation Day. So we will go once a year and pick an area in partnership with the state. And we'll go in and we'll hinge trees and spray the stumps with Tordon and that sort of thing, kind of helping create habitat. But conservation is also a big part of what the KBA is about. We've planted thousands and thousands of trees over the years through these conservation days and these efforts, raising money to do that, to help drive and create more habitat for whitetail, turkey, whatever it is.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
So that our kids and grandkids can also enjoy
Have
some
more
of
to
that
look
stuff.
forward to.
Yeah, that is so awesome. What would you say to someone that may know a little bit about the KBA but is kind of on the fence about joining?
I'd say the first thing is probably if you happen to know a KBA member, just ask them about it, and hopefully they get a little evangelical about it and get excited and basically share their experiences, again, beyond the walls of being at the convention every year, having the opportunity to get out and go to some of these events and experience, what these, KBA folks enjoy doing, which is you just hanging out and being together, and everybody just really enjoys shooting and being able to talk about that and share stories and whatever. It's just a great time.
Yeah, the camaraderie is awesome. And I was one of those, I'm a fairly new member, and I was kind of on the fence for long. I knew I wanted to do it. I knew I needed to do it. I knew the importance of the KBA, and it wasn't until I was in Oklahoma on a hog hunt I met John Swinehart, and he paid for my membership.
Really?
So John got me in, and then my buddy Steve that's been with me, this is his first year, so I got him in. So I feel like that word of mouth and getting people started kind of snowballs a
That's
little
great.
bit.
Kind of a domino effect.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, thanks for sitting down and chatting with me. And then just to wrap it up, how can people sign up for the KBA?
So you can go to our website, thekbasite.com. It's SITE for site.
Okay.
But you can go on there, and as soon as you register, then you can sign up for either a junior membership for $10 or a regular membership for $25. You can also set it to auto renew if you want to set it and forget it and just.
I actually should do that too. I don't think I'm on auto renew.
Continue to be a member. We'd obviously love to have as many as we can get. That's the other thing I wanted to mention too before I forget is we're really trying to promote from a KBA perspective just youth in the sport. So we go out and go to like the NASP functions a lot. We are providing donations to the schools through NASP, and so we'll help them get their welcome kits to at least get started. The bows and the targets and all the things that go with that to at least get kick-started. But also we've donated money to the scholarship fund through NASP, and we're trying to create an environment where the youth we know is going to be the next movement for this organization and grow it successfully. So it's $10 isn't that much,
right?
And we'd love to have as many youngsters as we can. We're also trying to set up a 3D shoot, a youth 3D shoot this spring, and kind of try that out and see how it goes.
Super awesome. I love what NASP does, and I love that the KBA works with them. It's so important to get the youth interested in archery. So again, thank you for your time, and I really appreciate you and what you guys do at the KBA.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. So when you first show up, you'll come to the registration booth to get your sign-in name badge here, auction number for tonight, ticket to get into the dinner. These lovely ladies are very helpful. This is the table seating arrangements for tonight. How many tables are there? 18?
18 right
Looks
now.
like there's 18 tables. Each table has 10 people that can sit. So the cool thing about this is you show up and you can pick who you want to sit with, write some of your friends and family down, or if you see a table with some people you can sign up for it. Or if you're new or don't know anybody, it's a good time to just find a table that has an extra seat or two, sit there, and then you can kind of network and get to know some new people at the KBA. We have some plaques here. This is Kansas Bowhunters Distinguished Service Award. Some recognition plaques. And right here is the Kansas Bowhunters past president. So right now, Jamie's the current president of the KBA. And then this one right here is Kansas Bowhunters 50-year members. It's kind of cool to see all the names of people that have been here for over 50 years. So another cool thing about being a member of the KBA is there's several different categories. You can see all the clipboards of things you can enter, and then people vote on these things. And each one of these gives you an entry into winning a Kansas lifetime hunting license, as well as a first place plaque for each one of these different entries. So to go through some of them, just a few of them, there's Best Senior Photography, Senior 3D Handcraft, Senior 2D Art, there's Junior 2D Art, Unique Shed Antler, which Steve and I entered a few in this one, Taxidermy, Trail Cam Photo, Best Pose Photo. Each member that's here is going to get a piece of paper so that they can vote on each one of their favorites to win that first place plaque. Here's a look at all the awards that they're going to be giving out. All right, so if you take a look at this table here, they have this table every year, and what this is if you have any unused hunting items or maybe some old outdated hunting items that you don't use anymore, it's just free stuff. So it's a good way to get rid of stuff. Maybe it's a good way for somebody to pick something up and kind of get into some of this stuff. This starts the category for the unique antlers, and look at that, Steve. These two right here, I would call these unique antlers. Steve and I both found these a couple years ago. It's the same side from the same deer and pretty much in the same bed, same spot on the ground. So wish us luck on those. And I might be voting on my own or Steve's. So we'll see. Some other unique shed antlers. Spike gorilla here. Keep in mind, we're pretty early here on Saturday, so these tables are going for like quite a bit more. This is just to kind of give you an idea. All right, so we talked about entering into some of the categories earlier, and as you can see right here, we have some Euro whitetail, and then we have some that were entered into just a general size competition on whitetail. Down here we've got artwork. When you vote on it, each category has its own letter identifiers. So SP, I'm guessing that's senior photography, and then the number's the one that you're voting on. So, trail cam photo, TC. Dang, check this buck out, Steve. This is real nice.
What, this guy here? Oh.
All jokes aside, this is the one right here.
Never heard of her.
Boom. All right, and then there's also a category for taxidermy. So here's some taxidermy people can vote on. I really like the side ones like this right here. Steve and I, when we came in, automatically loved the story on this. It looks like this is the same exact bow used in 1965 to kill a deer, and then 60 years later, same county, same bow. Super awesome. All right, so we have a table up front here where you can buy different merchandise for the KBA. And they said these coins are free. I'd love to have one. There's a flag, some coffee cups, license plate. I've seen some members with this one.
Oh yeah, they're all over.
Might have to pick up one of these minis. So here is the 53rd annual convention. So this year's shirt. They said their cousin did the design on that, and I think it looks awesome.
Love when they put the American flag on the sleeve.
Real nice design.
Yeah.
How much are these?
$20.
Nice.
And they're
Probably another thing I'm gonna have to buy.
they're a local
I'm
company.
not gonna lie, I don't know if I can refold this back the way you guys
It's
did,
okay.
but I'm gonna try.
Perfect.
That's close enough.
Good enough.
That was great.
Boom. Thank you guys. Are you guys? All right. So another thing you get with your registration deal here is a door prize ticket. So you rip that off, it goes in here, and they're gonna draw a couple tickets every hour for different shirts and different merchandise that they have. So pretty cool door entry prize. Everyone that signed up for the dinner gets one of those entry tickets. All right. So we talked about the seating arrangement chart and how you can sign up to sit at the table you want, with the people that you want to sit with. So this is what it's going to look like tonight. The dinner buffet starts over there. The speakers and everything, of course, up here at the head table. There's the projector for the guest speaker and stuff tonight. And then also over here is where all the raffle and auction items are going to be. All right, some of the prizes tonight, you guys can see these have a ticket. It says what the item is, if it's going to be a drawing item or an auction item. So right here, some of these are going to be some drawing. We got a Leupold rangefinder here. We have a bottle of KBA engraved bourbon from the Smoky Valley Distillery, and that's right by where I live. Some of that honey, Tacticam. Come back over to this table. Looks like we got some donations from P&S Security, Chris Mullins, Coyote Creek Archery. I've heard good things about them. Fred Eichler donated some stuff. He's the guest speaker. That's pretty cool. Vortex Crossfire Spotting Scope, Lucky Buck, which is awesome. Cooler, some Reinhardt targets. Easton arrows, Axis 5mm, those are nice. Where'd that come from? Unbound bowstrings. You get one string set of choice, and you're gonna get 2 tickets to Shot the 3D Experience. If you haven't been to Shot 3D Experience, it's comparable to like a total archery challenge, except for registration's not a nightmare. The shooting times isn't a nightmare. You show up, you shoot with who you want, when you want. The best group of guys I've ever met, and just a real family-friendly, it's memories that you're going to remember for the rest of your life. So come to Shot 3DX, win a bunch of prizes, have the best time of your life. The Milford Lake fishing trip. That's an auction item. That's going to be pretty cool. Fred Eichler actually donated one of his bear bows. I'd like to win this, so if Steve is nice enough to bid on it and win it and get it for me for my birthday, which was several months ago, that'd be great.
Belated checkbook account.
Actually, earlier this month. Another thing I think is awesome is they have this youth bow giveaway. So if you're coming to the dinner tonight, they're having a pizza party over in another room that you can sign your kids up for. So if your kids are here, they're signed up for the pizza party, they're 0 to 16 years old, get a ticket, put it in the youth bow. They're going to give both of these bows away, which is awesome. Here's some artwork right here. All right, so a mission bow from John Sporting. We have a Darton from Tom. Some targets. What the heck is this thing? 20-pound electric stuffer. Sounds like something you would use, Steve. All right, we got a 365 target. These 18-1 Reinhardt targets are awesome. If you're not always shooting the same side every day, this thing will last you forever. The blackout target, used broadheads on it. It's awesome. Another Reinhardt target and a grill. This is your buck?
Yeah.
What's the story on this, if you don't mind?
So, yeah. So I was a federal employee, right? So earlier this year, I guess I'll give you a backstory. I'm mainly a waterfowl guy, right?
Okay.
So like when I moved to Kansas in 2018, and then I was like, I got rid of my bow stuff, like my compound I used to shoot bows at. I got rid of that. I think I sold it like 2020. I just was more into waterfowl stuff. I still am more into waterfowl. So like, then one of the farmers, he was a big bow hunter, and he let me start shooting his recurve. So I started shooting a recurve, and I was like, well, man, I'm probably gonna buy a compound, right? So I ended up buying one of those Fred Bear just ready to hunt packages to get back into it earlier this summer. And mainly because I was like, I want a compound because I'm gonna hunt out of the ground blind by my house. So I got one of them, and I started practicing with it over the summer and stuff. And then, I got laid off in October this year. So I was like, man, well, at least that gives me time to start archery hunting a little bit more, get time in the blind. So I was out there, I was out there basically the whole month, like a lot, like after work and shit, or not after work, but after my wife, was done working and whatnot. And I was just, sitting in the blind and stuff. And there was a couple younger bucks that were coming in, and they were just like chasing does all around. And this was like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks before. I guess it was probably when they were searching and stuff, looking for hot does and stuff. And I decided to duck hunt on a Sunday morning. It was like our first cold front, and I had a camera out there. Well, I came back, I think I might have checked it that Monday or something after the duck hunt. And I couldn't really, like, the picture wasn't that good on him. I saw it was big. And I was like, oh man, I gotta get in there, So I started hunting him a little harder. And I want to say that might have been, that was the end of October that I saw that trail cam picture. And maybe 5-6 days later, he showed up in the evening, right coming. So like, where I'm hunting, I put my blind like on a hill. Like it was kind of like on a hill, it's looking down my ground blind. And I want to say it's probably 30 yards to the edge of the woods. But what I did is there's a lot of brush growing up. So I basically mowed like this, just like basically so I could shoot my arrow.
Yeah, mowed a path.
Yeah, basically. And there was deer trails in there. So I mowed around, and like this doe came out, and she walked out like she was probably, I don't know, 30 yards. Because that's where about was standing in the woods. And I can see her like looking behind, and I'm just like, you get the goosebump feeling. You know something's there, but it didn't seem like, she didn't seem to act that way towards like the smaller bucks. So it was just like something was there. And then, obviously seeing that picture before got me all amped up. And he came out and like, he put his nose in the air because he was probably trying to smell me or smell for danger. And that's how I said about getting him mounted, like our buck tax. I was like, man, just because that memory's like itched in my mind.
Oh yeah.
And he came and he came next to her, and then she was in front of him a little bit. So I was like, and I was so amped up. I had to like like bite my cheek just from stopping to shake and like, you know, because it was like I was like, oh man, you know, and I pulled up and I was like put it like on like the 30-yard pin, and I sent it. So
30 yards. How far did he run off?
he went, I want to say maybe 100 yards in the woods, because he went back where he came. He went in the woods, and I was like, it was by that time, you know, it was dark because it's shot in the evening, and I was like, I'm gonna wait a little bit. And when I walked down there, I was looking around, and I didn't see blood, and like my heart stopped. I was like, oh man, did I miss this darn thing? And then I walked back a little bit, and I saw more blood, and I'm like, okay. And I walked back, but I never really found like a solid blood trail. What I saw was like in the woods, you know how it gets dark and you see the white really good? I just saw like his belly.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, dude.
What was it like walking up and putting your hands on him?
I was just like, I was amped up. I was kind of like, is this real? Really happening? Like, I'm not even like
dreaming.
Yeah, I'm like, dude.
Did you
like,
say waterfowl what?
Yeah, I'm a waterfowl guy still, and like, I was just like, yeah, this is crazy, man. And like, you know, I'm originally from Pennsylvania, so like,
It's funny that you bow hunted in Pennsylvania, moved to Kansas, and got out of bow hunting.
well, dude, the waterfowl
There's
is
nothing
so
better.
much better here.
Really?
So
There's
much
nothing
better.
better than feet down mountains.
Dude,
You take that back.
No.
I think this is a lot better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. This was fun. And what was icing on the cake is like I ran back to the house, and like my kids knew I was like deer hunting. I was like, I got him. You know, I was like, I got him. So like when I got back to the house, my kids like I literally like he was so damn heavy. Like I had to like I have a player side by side, so I couldn't get him up by myself. Like because I didn't gut him back there. I wanted to gut him another place. So I put the winch up over the hood and I hooked it to him and drug him up on the gate. And I drove back to my house and like my kids came running out and like they're
That's awesome.
so amped up.
Oh yeah.
But I'll show you a picture here.
Dace, do you have a picture, like a trophy picture of him with his deer?
Yes.
Could you text that to me?
Yeah, and it's in the slideshow.
So here's
for the banquet.
here's like a picture of me and
Me
and my kids.
That's awesome.
Like they were
and
all
the
so
moon back there.
Yeah,
that's
I was
a
like-
sweet picture.
I was like, man, it was a full moon, so I was like, I gotta.
That's
I was like,
beautiful.
Allie, we got it, my wife. I was like, we gotta do it so we can get the moon. I was like, I'm sure I'm gonna get jokes from people. Oh, you shot out the truck window at night. You know what I mean? Yeah,
exactly.
But like,
I know
like,
you
it's
shot
funny.
this out of the truck through the high fence.
Right. with the spotlight.
I love that, man. Thanks for sharing that story with us.
Yeah, dude, no worries.
This guy here handcrafts all of these chairs and tables and chandeliers and stuff out of antlers, and they look pretty cool. That chair I sat in, that's super comfy. This guy's a local beekeeper, makes his own honey. I'm gonna buy one of these jars before we leave. Just cool to see local businesses here at the KBA. But right here, Mike Hoover is doing a raffle. He's known for his raffles. So you can buy some raffle tickets. And if you're here for the dinner tonight, what he's gonna do is it 5 names? 4 names? If you're present and he draws your name, you can come up and have your choice of a knife, this painting, or some of those handcrafted wood projects behind there. So here's another table here at the KBA. This guy handcrafts these calls here in Kansas. So how much time does it take to make one of these?
If I can make 3 or 4 at a time, you know, combine all that, you know, it's really grand scope, not that long, but if I'm building one call at a time, I might have 5 hours in one, because of like the cedar and the mulberry calls, I literally cut the trees, slab the wood,
Really?
run them through my planer.
Oh wow,
So I'm not buying the wood, I'm actually cutting the tree to make them.
that's awesome.
So
So what do one of these cost? Is it
the scratch boxes are 45. Box calls, what were they? 60.
75 bucks on the box call?
And then, you know, if you get fancier, like there's a call on the auction table out there that's the lid's Purple Heart with mulberry pinstripes with the KBA logo in it. I did that one.
Awesome.
That one took me quite a bit of time, but
Beautiful. I'll probably end up buying one of these before I leave. Let's see what one of these sounds like.
like this one's has mulberry lid or paddle and cedar sides. And even though you cut the thickness the same, by the time you're done with it, and the nature of wood as well, the tension in the wood itself gives it a different tone. So,
Oh, wow.
and I run them like this, and I think they sound better running them backwards. But
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Nice. Yeah, thank you.
hi, Randy. This wood, India rosewood.
Okay.
I just happened to be in Sutherland's and Emporium. I'm like, that's kind of cool looking wood. And I lifted it, and it was heavy, so I knew it was dense. I'd never worked with it before, but
That sounds real good. That's really good. I like that.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
It's a great looking table.
I've got salsa and chili samples if you guys want to try anything.
How hot do you got it?
Inferno with ghost pepper.
You gonna try it, Steve?
You're the hot guy here.
All right, I'll try it. Gosh, dang it. You put me on the spot.
Yep.
You did that on purpose. Maybe a
Sign
little
to
bit
up.
of the hottest. It looks hot. Oh boy.
I've got dip if it's hot.
How many Scoville heat units is this?
So it's 1 scoop, you mix it with a can of tomatoes, you get a jar of salsa, and a can makes you 18 jars.
Ooh, it's starting to kick in. Oh boy.
Here you go.
There you go.
Oh, I'm good. I'll take a regular sip.
I'll turn the camera off so you can take a bite of it.
Oh no, it's good. I don't like the sauce that was on that. That salsa is actually really good. Which one was that?
I have a hot.
I see a black and white tail, and of course he's going right to it. I'm like yelling at him, no, it's Humber.
All right, Steve's gonna try the chili. Unfortunately, it's not gonna burn his face off like the chip did. Good. Is this the same thing? You just
It's just a seasoning. You just brown your meat, throw your seasoning in, dump your beans, tomatoes in, that's it.
awesome. Thank you for the samples on that. Where are you out of?
Wichita.
Wichita. Awesome. We're here with Marvin, and he has a giant collection of these fish points that we're going to go over. So, how long have you been collecting these?
Accidentally started collecting 40 years ago.
Okay.
I just didn't realize it at the time. It's one or two that I'd used. Yeah, those aren't very good. We'll buy something else, and then you reach a point where you pull open the drawer and those would look pretty neat on a little display board.
Right.
That's the mistake. You're hooked. And it just balloons from
So,
there.
how did you obtain most of these?
Well, like I say, a lot of them that I had used, and then I got connected with the American Broadhead Collectors Club. And, hey, there's other crazy people out there, and we start trading back and forth, and then you end up something on the rarer side. Yeah, I'll trade you ahead. Yeah, I'll give you $10 to boot on top of that, so I can add that one in my collection. Approximately 4,500 different broadheads.
Wow.
Mostly American made. A handful from Australia, a few from France, a dozen from South Africa.
Oh, wow.
So, like I say, we have members scattered all over the world, so I'm liable to get something from anywhere.
Wow. You don't have to answer this, but is there a value on what this whole collection would be worth? An approximate?
Right at the moment, of course, now you have to find the right person, but I've probably got $5,000 or $6,000 right,
Wow.
that I've got invested in this right here. Let's see, what was that? Back in the 40s and 50s.
I was like, I heard the number you said.
Fleetwood Archery. Yeah, all they did just took an angle grinder and cut a couple notches in there. And if you got real lucky, they actually bent this top piece, bent it just a tiny bit, where it would kind of screw into the fish. Sometimes they held, sometimes they didn't. But now anymore they put in so much. Well, like these things here. The black one is aluminum. Those are stainless, but they put so much machining into them.
Oh yeah.
You got two slots there, an internal piston that slides, it slides back, the barb spread out to about like that.
That's wicked looking.
The very tip will screw on or off, and there's
That's probably my favorite looking. I love that crowned tip on there.
and like these
Oh
things
yeah,
here.
kind of similar.
Yeah, along the same lines. And they started out with something like just two straight blades. Well, it'd be better if we put three blades in there. I signed both of them girls up life members.
That's awesome.
So as long as this club's around here, we're their members.
What's your favorite part about being a KBA member?
From which time period? I mean, I've gotten to experience this thing
Since you were a week old.
since I was a week old. Yeah.
Eat and poop and sleep.
Yeah.
That was the good days.
The days I don't remember. I'm really lucky, and I've got my dad's side of the family and my mom's side of the family that are both part of this, and so I mean, I show up here, it's like a big family reunion.
Yeah, that's a lot of it. Look at the dead stuff or mounts.
Right.
But basically, I've known a majority of these guys for 20, 30, 40 years. Just a big old family reunion.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, these people have known me my entire life, and so it's
Whether that's good or bad.
whether that's good or bad. I'm finally getting to that point where I'm old enough that it's not just, oh, that's Marvin's grandkid or Gary's grandkid. It's, oh, this is Bailey, and like she's doing her own adult things, and so that transition has been really cool. It's less of, hey sweetheart, how you doing, and more like, hey, like how's these things going in your life, which both are wonderful, and like having those adults that care about you as a kid, to then them getting to see you grow up even has been really cool. Hey, this is
I
my
live in
grandma.
Fort Scott, Kansas, and in '83 we had a flood, a simple flood. Everything flooded. I've been a member for 3 or 4 years, and I had guys from Dodge City call, and they were going to try and get to Fort Scott to help me move. Basically, my house was flooded.
Really?
Yeah.
So how long have you been a member?
Since the late '70s, early '80s.
A handful of years after I
Long
was.
time ago.
What's your favorite part about being a KBA member?
The good they do for the sportsmen and the families. I mean, it's just a big thing. Just like that. People that had known me for 2 or 3 years couldn't drive clear across the state during the flood to help me move out.
I want to do that. That's pretty awesome.
People care.
Good, like-minded people, all these things.
Burton, Kansas, down by Winfield.
Down by Winfield. So how long have you been making bows?
Oh, about 2 years.
2 years?
And then training on top of that, so
That's awesome.
2.5 years.
What are some of the woods that you're using in these?
One on the end is Coca-Cola and Bacote, and then the next one's Bacote and Winge.
That's a pretty bow right there. What got you into making bows?
I was actually building strings for the guy previously, and he called and was ordering strings, and when he got off the phone, he mentioned possibly selling the company, so I mentioned it to Dad, kind of joking, and which I was working full time. He was still working full time, but I wasn't really thinking about him retiring. So anyway, I was selling strings and ended up building bows.
That's awesome, man. I love stories like that. Beautiful looking bows too. How long does it take you to make one?
That's a good question. We usually do 4 to 6 at a time. So I couldn't tell you how many hours it takes to build one. Just with the process, while you're doing or while you're waiting on glue to dry on this one, you can be doing something else. Otherwise, you're at a standstill for 8 hours or
that's what
so.
And how
we
much?
usually do 4 to 6 at a time.
Okay. And what do you sell these for generally?
Your average is going to be between 12 and 1500. Just depends on woods and what upgrades you get.
Super pretty. It feels really good in the hand. Yeah.
I mean, we both compound hunted for years, and we started in the trad deal.
I end up shooting
And I started in the trad deal, and we both just pretty much put our compound.
I shot a buck super early, like October 4th. Dang, I don't want to be done for the year. And it's like, it's too easy to shoot a doe with a compound. So I had an old longbow that I bought 10 years prior and stuck it in the closet. Just was harder than I thought it was going to be. And so anyway, I got 2 months of season left, so I'm like, I'm just going to go get the longbow out and try it. And end up shooting 4 does with it that first year and haven't touched a compound since.
Nice. That's awesome. And you guys have a website, or how do people get a hold of you?
Website, Facebook, Instagram.
Tall Tines Archery.
We'll take you a couple quarters for one.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate that.
You bet.
All right, so the members are going to get a People's Choice Awards to vote, like we mentioned earlier. Here's what that sheet looks like. So we're going to start with the shed antlers. Best shed. I think I'm going to give Steve some credit here. It's probably my favorite, and it definitely is a crazy shed antler. So we're gonna put 10 right here.
Uncle, do you want to see my new plates?
All right.
No, they're not.
People's Choice Best Taxidermy. I really like this one right here. So that's the one we're going to go with, is T1. People's Choice Best Photography. Anything that starts with a P. SP, I should say. I like this Morel one right here, SP15. Best Pose, BP. The antelope one's pretty awesome. That's BP1. Best trail camera, TC. Oh, TC2 for sure. Look at that thing. So we voted, we got everything filled out, and we just turned it in. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Alright, I'm here with John Swinehart. We met at a hog hunting deal down in Oklahoma and ran into him. He was sharing the ranch at the same time, and he actually paid my membership. So thanks to him, I'm a member, which I was able to get Steve signed up. So you kind of, I think that's how some of the memberships work, is like it snowballs. You signed me up, I got him signed up. So how long have you been a member on the KBA?
1990.
1990. So a good chunk of time. And how many people do you think you kind of signed up or encouraged to sign up?
10 to 12 boys maybe getting signed up.
And who knows how many people you know that they've signed up as well.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite part about being a KBA member?
It's probably camaraderie, same like.
Yeah, agreed. Well, thanks again for chatting with me, and thanks for getting me signed up. I appreciate it.
setting where people from our community could come in. If they liked archery, they could shoot at our range. They wanted to fish, they could catch fish with their eyes closed out of Demon Lake. That was all part of the stocking program and the partnership that we had. So if you go out there today, it's still structurally the same. It's not the same, and I don't want to say because I'm not there, but because they don't have a passionate person in that school right now that's doing it the way we did it. So as a result, I'm going to load up a trailer. I'm going out there with 24 brand new Genesis bows. I struck a deal. I said I'm going to bring in 24 brand new Genesis bows. They got one teacher still shooting NASP. And I talked to all those football coaches like they're still on my staff, how disappointed I am in you that you do not give these kids the opportunities to do things that would last a lifetime. And then the head football coach tells me, well, Dave, we can't have arrows flinging around. And I'm looking at him like he's speaking a different language to me because I'm already angry with him. I'm like, he wants to lift weights every day. That's fine, whatever you want to do. But I'm picking up all this equipment, so I'm going to give him 24 new bows. I'm taking the 36 used ones. I'm taking the air rifles. I'm taking the varsity archery bows. And any targets that we have left, I'm going to get them in schools that can be used, so they're not just sitting there. By the way, title-wise right now with Wildlife and Parks, so I haven't been there 2 years. It was June 10th, almost 2 years ago. So I was originally signed on as the Hunter Ed coordinator. Then I asked Aaron, I said, I want to take over bow hunter ed and fur harvester ed. I want to bring them back in person. I know it's not state mandated in the state of Kansas. Everybody in here knows that. So it's not, I want to offer opportunities to do it. If I had a kid that was growing up and I wanted them to learn how to bow hunt safely, I'd want them to go to an in-person bow hunter education class. So my goal this year, this fiscal year, is to land at least one bow hunter ed and fur harvester ed in-person class in each of the 4 regions. And if it's 27 in a region, fine. I don't think the demand's there. I want to see what the demand is, and we can strategically approach that. On the NASP side of things, the NASP state tournament's coming up.
Your whole life, it was pretty much your only option. But for 54 years, I've been running the outfitting business, and I have a lot of fun. Go ahead and move it up. I've had a lot of fun, and I like to cut up. And you can move it to the next one. Well, hold on. One of the things that I do with clients that come out is some people are very serious on it. Some people are more there to cut up a little bit and like everything about it like I do. But one of the things I would do to kind of test somebody out is if I knew I was going to hunt an area the next morning, I'd just take a little cooking utensil or eating utensil and I'd hide it out on the trail. And the next morning, you didn't know it was there. I knew where it was. The next morning, I would come out with my flashlight in the dark, and I'd stop right when I got to it, and I'd just stand there. And eventually the guy'd say, what's the plan? You know, because I'm just standing there in the dark. And I'd say, I'm just not sure where to go when I come to this fork in the trail. I know it's stupid, but it just gives me an idea of who I'm with. You know what I mean? Like, okay, is he going to be a fun person to take this week or not? You know, who am I going to be dealing with? I'll help you. And he goes, but this is nuts, man. I've been here 3 days. You trapped coyotes. He said, you friggin' shot a mountain lion and you shot an elk today with a recurve. He said, is it like this all the time? And dude, I looked him square in the eye. I said, yep. That's what I do. So dude, this guy was working with Chuck Adams, right? He's like, we found a way better guy than Chuck Adams. Like, literally, he was just like, man, this is just unbelievable. I feel bad I lied to him, not terrible, but a little bit. But so what was funny is he goes back and not too much longer, I get a phone call. He's like, hey man, we're thinking about doing a TV show. We've never done a TV show before. And don't tell Chuck this, but he goes, we were thinking about using Chuck, but we think we'd rather have you. So Chuck didn't even know he missed out on an awesome opportunity. But I was like, what do I got to do? They're like, basically, we're going to pay you to go hunt stuff and just, you know, use Easton arrows, and we want you to do that. I was like, all right, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. So I wish I could tell you it's because, like, I'm an amazing hunter. I just had a lucky 3 days. The right guy just happened to be there. And that's how the TV show came about.
Welcome everybody to the 53rd banquet. Glad to see everybody here. A lot of smiling faces. Glad to see you guys clean up nice. I think part of what I like to do at the beginning of every one of these is ask if we have any first-time attendees here. If you do, please raise your hand and stand up. I left that stand-up part. We're not going to ask you to speak this time. Really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. I think the other thing that I wanted to mention is how much work goes into this. I said this last year too. It's a team effort. The EC always does a great job. All of our committee chairmen do a great job. Catherine, especially. One of our unsung heroes. The Griffin family, thank you guys. So other than that, let me go ahead and introduce the head table here. Mr. Fred Eichler, our guest speaker for tonight, and Lauren. Myself and Catherine, our Secretary Treasurer. So with that said, why don't we go ahead and mention, I better say this before Aiden strangles me, but we really appreciate all the donations that y'all bring in, and it would be nice if we could do that, I guess, on a regular basis throughout the course of the year. It seems like there's been folks that have had a difficult time finding donations, or people that have just said, we can't do it, we can't afford it, it's not in the budget, whatever. We understand, but if the worst thing they say is no, that's okay too, at least you tried. So we've got our reps from the 4 regions that are going to be helping out Aiden as well. But if you, as our convention chair, if you have things throughout the course of the year that you can donate, that can bring to the convention or to the summer rendezvous, then obviously we're happy to have that, and just thank you for the support. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. So why don't we go ahead and dive right in, and I'm going to bring up our MC for the night, Mike Dunaway.
And help others understand your passion about hunting, the methods that you use, and most importantly, the ethics that you have, and pass it on to others, especially our youth. We need more of that. So thank you. I think about 30 years ago, I heard about the Kansas Bowhunters Association, and that you had a meeting that you were.
Holy and Heavenly Father, we're thankful on those who have been part of our family as KBA members and connected with us through their families. And for those who are no longer with us, Father, and those who maybe still be grieving or lost, we pray that you would comfort them and provide your presence and grace that's needed, and help us to find ways that we can reach out to them and love them. Father, we thank you for the life that you give to each one of us, and the creatures we're able to enjoy outdoors and to hunt, and for our KBA family. We ask your bless upon this food, the hands prepared it and that will serve it to us. Be with Mike, our MC, and Fred, our speaker tonight, with our time of fellowship and fun. Enable us to enjoy tonight in ways that's pleasing to you. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Amen.
You have this.
Oh, this looks so good.
I'm explaining to them, listen, we're going to put a little blind right here, we're going to put a little brush up, I said, we're gonna sit down right here. I'm gonna have a little hole for you. The bear trail's right there. It's only 15 yards away. I said, if a bear comes in, it's gonna stop before it goes under that fence, or it should, hopefully. And it'll look in that pond, make sure there's not a bigger bear, and then it's gonna go in, and you're gonna shoot it when it stops. And if it doesn't stop, I'll stop it. That's when you shoot. He's like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's looking at me. I'm like, okay. So we build a little brush blind. We get hidden up there, and I sit back, and I'm tired because I've been guiding. And I kick back. I'm like, man, it's been 4 weeks of archery antelope. We should have had an elk dead this morning. I'm like, I'm gonna just take a little nap. I kick back, and he grabs me. He says, Mr. Fred. I said, yeah, buddy. He said, let's say a bear does come. What if he attacks me? And I realized, oh man, I should have said something about that. He's never bear hunted before. He's scared. And I said, buddy, don't you worry. I looked him right in the eye. I said, if that bear charges you, I will jump between you and the bear, and I'll protect you. And you gotta love 12-year-olds, because he looks at me and he goes, all right. Buddy, if a bear charges, I'm gonna hold you up like a human shield. I'm just gonna have to come through your chest cavity before it gets to me. And he's all right with it. He's looking at me, those trusting eyes. Okay. And I literally lean back, I'm like, so I kick back again. I mean, it's not, we're early. It's like 2 o'clock. I don't think bear's gonna move till later. But he grabs me, he's all excited. He goes, I see a bear. And I thought, oh, it's gonna go like this all afternoon. And I'm like, where at? And he's pointing. I look, I'm like, oh, there is a bear. And he actually sees a bear, and he spotted it. It's coming down the hill. And I look, and it's like, oh, it's a little 2.5-year-old bear. I mean, it's a young bear. And I'm like, this is perfect. This could maybe happen. And here comes the bear, and he's gangling down the hill, and he's obviously going to go to water. It's hot, and I'm getting him all prepped up. I'm like, okay, get your bow, get ready, get ready. Okay, well, I'll tell you when to draw. You know, the bear's coming. Oh. And so I'm watching the bear, and I'm seeing all this movement off to my peripheral. That word. So off to my side, and he's over there. He's grabbed the bow, and he can't draw the bow, and he's yanking on it. And I don't know if it's because he's never drawn his bow sitting, kneeling. I don't know if it's because he's just excited with adrenaline. And I look over and I'm like, and he's got it now. It's only like a 40-pound bow. So now he's in full draw. But I look, and if somebody, no offense, Jamie, but if I'm trying to shoot Jamie in the shoulder, right here, and if you're right next to me looking, and my arrow's pointed up like this, you're going to be like, you're not going to hit me in the shoulder, Fred. You're going to miss. So I'm right by this kid, and I'm looking, and his arrow's like way up here. And I'm like, the bear's right there. I'm like, lower. And the kid's like, huh? I'm like, lower. And and I'm like, lower. And then we're carrying on this conversation, and the bear, kind of hears something, and he stopped. And it's perfect, though. He's perfectly broadside. I'm losing my mind, because I'm like, lower. And all of a sudden, the only thing I could realize is he probably finally figured out he had to look through his peep sight. You know, he had a couple, and all of a sudden it's like it kind of left, and I'm like, ooh, let it rip. Shoot. So he shoots, and it just miracle. We've all been there, make that lucky shot. This kid hits this bear, boom, like perfect. And the little bear's like, ah! You guys know how bears do. Ah! You know, and he's flipping, he tries to run, boom, he hits the fence, ah! And then he turns, and he starts coming right up the fence. Right at us. But I'm like, oh man, this is awesome. Like, I know he's dying, you know, and he's like, whoa, and it looks bad, you know, he's flipping, you know, the whole 9 yards. And he gets like right here, and you know, and he rolls over. I'm like, oh, that's so awesome, great job. I blow through the brush blind, I put my fingers in the hole. I'm like, I think you got him in heart. I can't believe it, that was awesome. And his kids look at me, and I realize it looks like he's in shock. Like, his eyes are just spinning around, and he's looking, he hasn't moved. I'm like, uh-oh. And I kick into dad mode. I'm like, you did a really good job. I'm really happy you got that bear. You know, that bear hassled some of our calves. You know, that bear kills fawns. You know, you did, you know, because I'm thinking, man, this is traumatic. You know what I mean? The first big game kill. And he looks at me real seriously. He goes, when were you going to get between us? In his mind, the bear was charging. And I looked at him, and I lied to him again, because I looked at him and I said, buddy, one more step. I have you. It's like, fine, you just let it get awful close. I was like, I can see what it seemed like that. But that's, you know, it was a little bear, like I told you. It's what part of what made it hysterical for me, it's the fun stuff.
Eli Taylor shot a whitetail buck in and he was nominated by myself. Eli, if you're here, please come up. I believe he's going to try to be here. Nathaniel Shirer is not here. He shot a black bear. It weighed 128 pounds. He was nominated by his dad, Mike. Matt Forge, and I believe he shot a turkey. Is that correct? He shot a turkey, and he was nominated by Matt Palmquist. Danae Mullins shot a turkey. She was nominated by her husband, Chris Mullins. Kyle Arbuckle shot a whitetail buck with his recurve, 125 inches. He was nominated by Dan Willems. Ryan Tully shot a whitetail buck, and he was nominated by Dennis Wilson. Hayden French shot a whitetail buck, I believe a whitetail buck. He was nominated by Jacob Williams. Colin Wanzer shot a whitetail doe, nominated by Henry Boss, excuse me. Brooke Kuntz shot a whitetail buck, nominated also by Henry Boss. Lisa Rogus shot a 10-point whitetail buck, nominated by Barry Rogus. Dustin Carson shot a whitetail, correct? Shot a whitetail, he was nominated by Matthew Palmquist. Harrison Knopf shot a whitetail buck, he was nominated by Chris Cook.
There you go. There you go.
Henry Voss shot a non-typical turkey that scored 102 and a half. Weighed over 23 pounds and had 4 years. The beards measured 11 and 3/8, 6 and 5/8, 6 and a quarter, and 4 and an 1/8. And Bryson Owens shot a pronghorn antelope that scored 80 and 3/4. Go ahead and come up here, Bryson. Rick Hammond shot a doe that weighed 137 pounds, field dressed. Come up, Rick. Cason Leonard won our typical category this year as a junior. Shot a 162-inch net whitetail that's up on the board up there. And then our non-typical winner is not here, but his deer's up there towards the right side of that table. That was Ryan Fuller. He shot a non-typical that netted 182 and 7/8 and grossed over 200 inches. On shed antler, the most unique shed antler, that was Steve Zexer. Hope I pronounced that right.
Woo!
For People's Choice Photography, that was Barry Rogus with the turkey. For Best Pose, that was Bryson Owens with his pronghorn antelope. Trail camera was Larissa Doblier with her buck trail camera photo. Taxidermy was Rick Hammond with the open mouth buck. Senior art was also Barry Rogus with his turkey fan. And junior art was Cora Bugner with her polar bear paper
40, 45. 45, number 50, which number 50, 45, number 50, number 55, 50, number 5, number 5, 50, number 5, got 50, number 5, number 5, 50, number 5, got 50 over here, number 5, number 5, don't be shy, put your hand up, 50, number 5, number 5, 50, number 5, number 5, 50, number 5, got 50, now 5, 55, number 60, which number 60, 55, number 60, 55, number 60, got 55, now 6, 70, 70, number 75, 75, 70, number 5, number 5, 70, number 5, all in and all done at $70. Sold right there for $70. What's your bidder number, Boyd? Sold 9 yards for.
This is the one people put the most tickets in.
What do we got there?
The rangefinder has the most tickets in it.
I put a bunch of tickets in this one. Okay. Here we go. Stir them up. Here we go. Shake them up. Dick Dawa.
Is it? Woo! Thank you.
Did you pay Ellie off or something?
I'll never tell. All right, guys, it's the Antler King here. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching all things to do with the 53rd Annual Bowhunters Convention with the Kansas Bowhunters Association. Consider joining. Do it today. Thank you guys for watching.